The fans are filling up here at Breslin's Student Event Center. The Class A semifinals. Clarkston, about an hour drive east of here. The Wolves, hoping this is their breakthrough year for a state championship. Kalamazoo Central, the Maroon Giants, will take on the Wolves in our first Class A semifinal. Dan Gutowski and Rick Mahorn will join us in just a few moments as these two teams battling to compete in tomorrow's Class A championship game. It's the first of two games here this afternoon. So a busy day of basketball here at Breslin, and our key players, number 44 for the Kalamazoo Central Maroon Giants is Andrew Lauer, the 6'7", 220-pound senior. A versatile player. He can score down in the low post and is also comfortable spotting up for a jumper from the outside as well. So Andrew's game hopes to continue beyond today. And Clarkston's Wolves, three very good players. One of the best ones, though, is right there on your screen. Matt Kamenicki, the junior, who again plays down low. That's going to be a good one-on-one battle with Kamenicki battling against Andrew Lauer as those two veterans leading their teams, they hope to, the Class A finals. Kalamazoo Christian, led by Michael Thomas, 24-1 in his first season on the bench. He doesn't have the resume that his counterpart Dan Fife does. Fife, his 27th year, but he's still looking for that first ever state championship. Our tip is up and out of bounds, and it's going to be Clarkston's Wolves in the white jerseys with their first chance to try and get on the scoreboard in this basketball game. They come in for Tyler Scarlett, and basketball now for Tom Staten on the side, and ball knocked out of bounds, and it looks like the Wolves will keep the basketball. Officials already huddling and conferring there. Let's introduce your starting lineup for the Clarkston Wolves. Brandon Verlinden is one of the guards for this Clarkston team. He's joined by Tom Staten, Brandon Pokley, Tyler Scarlett also on the floor, and the big man again is Kamenicki. His first shot off and out of bounds, and a miss by Brandon Verlinden. So here comes Kalamazoo Central, the Maroon Giants, trying to handle Clarkston here early in this basketball game. They can't keep Doug Anderson away from the rim, and he slams it home for a 2-0 lead for the Maroon Giants. Effective penetration early. And Brandon Pokley working in the corner now and tries to bring it out in a takeaway. Ball slapped away. Here's Clarkston coming free. Hammer from behind. Brandon Verlinden draws the contact, and he will go to the free throw line. And here's the handle on the sideline. And almost a touch foul there, but they waited and held that ball a little bit long on the pass. And a make on the first free throw, and there's the block from behind. Good athleticism there by T.J. Cameron. And they split the pair at the stripe. Verlinden gets it, and now the putback up and in. Matt Kamenicki on the steal and the score. Good work, but a hustling Kalamazoo Central team turns it over on the other end. And it looks like the Maroon Giants showcasing their athleticism just a little bit here in our first couple of minutes of basketball. And Tyler Scarlett, the ball handler right now for the Wolves. Handoff dish far side for Staten, who's called for the travel before he picks up his dribble. Both of these teams identical 24-1 records. And they both had tough challenges in their quarterfinal games to advance here to the Breslin Student Event Center for the Class A semifinals. The first one of the afternoon. Jawan Hemphill, the ball handler, out high. Now here's Devin Oliver. Driving, right side, through traffic, lays it off the right glass and scores. Oliver on the bucket, putting up the Maroon Giants to a 1-point lead, and now some backcourt pressure handled by the Wolves. They dish in the corner. Pull up from the top and off the rim, and didn't even get the rim. And here comes Kalamazoo Central running. Left side scoop, up and in for Jawan Hemphill. And here comes some backcourt pressure, and they break it to Kamenicki. Let's see what he does in the half court. Dishes, pull-up jumper. That one drops for Brandon Coakley. A walk up on the far side for Hemphill, who hands to TJ Cameron. Ball slapped away, picked up in the backcourt by Devin Oliver. They haven't gone inside just yet. Kick out here for Hemphill. He'll gun and miss. Rebound Clarkston's Wolves. Staten carries it up. They want Kamenicki inside. They clear the lane open in the miss on the layup by Scarlett. The putback scored by Kamenicki. Clarkston up by one. Dish out to the top for TJ Cameron, and the travel before he put the ball on the floor. And Clarkston will have to look at this Maroon Giants full court press again. This one's not so tight though. Kamenicki's got the ball now. Let's see if he can bring it up himself on the far side. He does. Now he'll shoot that three, way short, barely got rim. And Maroons Giants run it out. Here's a pull-up three from the foul line extension far side. Doug Anderson missed it. Nice drive to the hole, out of control though by Staten, and he's called for the offensive foul. So that's his first foul of this basketball game. Here's the drive, and you can see the good defensive presence there. Terry Buchanan was the one who stepped in to take that charge for K Central. They've got the basketball. They're trailing by one. Almost a takeaway on the ball. A couple of Wolves go at it and lose it. Now another takeaway. Here come the Wolves, running out with numbers. Hard cut to the basket. The left-hander by Brandon Coakley is a miss, but he's going to the free throw line. Just about halfway through our first quarter of basketball in the Class A semifinals. Clarkston's rolls with Brandon Coakley at the free throw line. He makes the first. Coakley, the leading scorer for this Clarkston team, the senior averaging over 21 points a game. And he is a premier free throw shooter, 91% from the stripe, but he splits that pair to make it a 3-point lead for Clarkston's Wolves. Tempo is slowed down a little bit. K Central in their half court. There's a ball handling mistake. They don't pay for it. They miss on the jam. Delvin Oliver misses it, but the rebound comes down in a strong move by Doug Anderson, who scores it for the Maroon Giants. Nice skip pass, 2-on-1 breakout. Jumper on the way for three. Drops for Brandon Coakley. Coakley's starting to heat up. He's got 6 in this basketball game. Clarkston up by 3. And here's Hemphill driving, right side, scooping and missing. Ball tapped around, out of bounds. Last touch by K Central. And substitution as Clarkston try to inbound. And again, a very, very full house here at Breslin. A big turnout for the Class A semifinals. Dan Fife and the Wolves trying to make it all the way to the championship game. And they inbound for Scarlett, and they go into their half court. Here's State down low, inside for Kamenecki, who puts it down. Quickly in transition, here's Terry Buchanan. Couple of subs waiting to come in for the Maroon Giants at the next break, but for now it's the starters. Oliver dishing low. Nice drive to the basket, and Matt Kamenecki gets contact on the shooter. That's TJ Cameron. Kamenecki will take his first foul.
That's his first, second team foul. At the line, Cameron gets 2.
So off to the free throw line and a miss. Or sorry, a make on the first one. And number 1, TJ Cameron, averaging almost 12 points a game, and he's a 61% free throw shooter, but he makes that one there. And the subs have come on as TJ Cameron gets a break. We're coming back with more basketball in just a moment. This is MHSAA TV. Clarkston Wolves basketball, and there's a right-handed scoop for a score by number 21, Brandon Polkley. 8 points. Clarkston handling the basketball very well. Almost a steal. Brandon Verlinden went after it. Now he's causing more problems in front of that Clarkston bench. Nice drive in the lane. They force it and miss it. Dylan Hughes can't get the shot down. Ball goes out of bounds. And the Maroon Giants will keep the basketball. First sub for the Wolves, Luke Prudhomme, comes on for Tyler Scarlett. They go inside off the inbound and a miss, and a rebound for Clarkston. Nice catch there by Tom Staten, the senior, who brings it up, and ball slapped away and kicked by the Maroon Giants. They go on the inbounds to Brandon Polkley. Quick pass, Kamenecki cutting on the right side, just couldn't get it down. K Central, there's Kamenecki, he picks it, he runs it, and he jams it for Clarkston. Great court vision by Matt Kamenecki, the junior, with the long arms and the jam on the other end. 17-10, it's Clarkston's biggest lead. You don't see a big man stealing on the perimeter like that very often. Now here's another takeaway. Clarkston's got numbers, 3-on-1. Staten to the basket, missed it, but he's fouled. And back to the free throw line for Tom Staten. Staten, not a strong free throw shooter, averaging under 50%. But he's a good scorer for this team, and he's averaging over 10 points, and he makes the first. This is a nice run for Clarkston right now. Their biggest lead is an 8-point margin. And there's a miss on the second free throw opportunity. K Central's got to slow this thing down. It's been a big surge here late in the first quarter by the Clarkston Wolves. And they're playing, slowing down the tempo considerably. Brendan Smith is the ball handler there. And you got to imagine K Central's Maroon Giants a little bit rattled. Back-to-back turnovers have given Clarkston a lot of momentum. We're inside 30. Three-pointer from the baseline, no. Rebound grab for Jared Lawrence for Clarkston. Now the Wolves can go for the last shot. Brandon Polkley has it way out. He'll hold it for the last shot of our first quarter here at Breslin. The Class A semis. Polkley in traffic, went up strong and missed it. Ball knocked out of bounds with 0.3 seconds left. I don't think Polkley got rim on that shot. And Clarkston can just try and tap it in, and they throw it up, and Polkley couldn't get it near the basket. We go to the end of our first quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Mahorn is in the building. He'll join us when we come back to start our second quarter of basketball. Clarkston leading Kalamazoo Central. This is MHS AA TV. A big crowd here in East Lansing at the Breslin Student Event Center. The Class A semifinals. Kalamazoo Central against Clarkston, and the Wolves have a big lead after 1 quarter of play. Welcome here to Breslin. We promised Rick Mahorn. We didn't say when we'd get him, but we got him here for the second quarter and beyond. Rick, this has been a very good basketball game. Clarkston a little bit ragged early in our first quarter, but they settled things down, started getting the turnovers late in the second quarter, and that's where we're at with this 8-point lead.
Well, Ray, you deservedly so, because you get the jitters early, and now you get them out, and now you're calm and you're into the game, and now you just got to stay focused if you want to get to the next game.
And so here we go with our second quarter of basketball, and a takeaway and a foul in the backcourt. And again, some key stats from our first quarter as we take a look at some of the numbers. Those turnovers late in the first quarter. 7 turnovers by Kalamazoo Central, and they get one the other way almost. Now let's see what the Wolves can do here.
Well, the Wolves, they're putting a lot of pressure on them. You got to make sure that you can handle that ball pressure.
Kamenicki up faking and getting blocked. That's a good one-on-one battle down low between Doug Anderson and Kamenicki. There's a finish, the flush, and the dunk by Doug Anderson. He did it both ends of the floor that time, Rick.
Hey, that's how you play basketball. These guys are going to block shots, and it's good to be young.
A lot of great talent here. There's a pull-up jumper in transition. Polkley buries another one. He is stroking well from the outside. He's got 10 points.
Well, you can't leave him open because, like you said, he's deadly from the outside.
K-Central playing from behind. See what they've got on this offensive set. Baseline jumper up off the back of the rim. No. Missed by Delvin Oliver.
Good open shot. Just need to take his time just a little bit.
Lob inside. Kamenicki too wide open. Finishes off the left side. And not a good start to the second quarter for the Maroon Giants. Clarkston opens up the lead to 10, 22-12.
Well, they're being very disciplined. They're making sure that they come down and get a good shot every time. And if you can get good post position, feed the post. Also, if you're getting good outside shots, make sure you nail them, take your time, and you nail them.
You know, the lack of, here's the alley-oop that we just saw with Doug Anderson finishing what he started.
I'll tell you, when you got a guy like that, reminds me a la Dennis Rodman, will get the rebound, block the shot, but make it down the court before the ball. I'll tell you, that just shows that this guy has the desire to try to get it to the next level.
You know, for real basketball fans, Rick, a weekend like this here at Breslin is really maybe the highlight of the season. You can't see great young basketball talent like this all in one gym on a given weekend like you can here with all these great players that are playing to compete for a state championship this weekend.
I'll tell you, if it's anything like the traffic, it's just going to be fun.
We'll talk about that later. There's a miss and a putback for a score as the Nick Ruffin hoop gives a little bit of momentum to Kalamazoo Central.
Well, if you can get second chance opportunities and you make good, now you're getting a three-point play the old-fashioned way. So you got to make sure you get up there and knock your free throws down, because each round as you go, you got to make free throws.
Clarkston out-rebounding Kalamazoo Central in that first quarter, 18-10. Sorry, that's the score. Rebounds, the rebound total, 10-7 in favor of Clarkston.
Well, I like this pressure that Kalamazoo is doing, trying to get an up-tempo game.
trying to bring more defensive pressure out towards half court. So Clarkston will have to adjust to that as our second quarter winds on. Again, two defenders on the ball. That's important.
The worst thing to do is give up your dribble.
And there's your turnover. Brandon Polkley couldn't find the mismatch or the open man and gives it up. So smart strategy now by Kalamazoo Central. Baseline jumper, far side, no. That's a TJ Cameron miss.
It was one and done, that opportunity. Could have got a better shot if you moved the ball around.
Staten has it. Lost his dribble, almost stolen. Pull-up jumper, baseline off the rim, no. Nobody home to rebound for the Wolves. And K Central runs it. Dish out, and we got an offensive foul. No.
Yes, you do.
Okay, they call it on K Central's Maroon Giants.
Well, when you're taking the basketball to the hole, always try to preach and tell all the players, don't leave your feet and pass. Once you leave your feet and pass, you're subject to get a charge. And right there, the Wolves stayed there in a position to get a charge.
Clarkston basketball. Their biggest lead was 10. Right now it's 7. Nice up fake by State. Now he'll pull up gun and miss. Rebound taken off the board by Oliver.
They're moving the ball really well. Just can't get that shot to fall down.
Almost a steal from behind, but it turns into a pass low. The missed shot by Ruffin. Clarkston rebounds. Polkley out for Tyler Scarlett. Far wing for Lawrence. In low, they go for Verlinden. He's missed it. And Clarkston's starting to hit a rough spot. Hard drive to the basket. And another offensive foul. Devin Oliver called for the charge.
That was a tough one, Devin, right there. You can't necessarily, like I said, leave your feet. He tried to split two defenders. Could have pulled it back out. Tried to get another better shot.
Kalamazoo Central trying to use their athleticism. And they have maybe superior athleticism, but you got to know when to use it.
You got to know when to use it and put it on. But sometimes you can get frustrated trying to attack and get a charge.
The Maroon Giants have used a lot of ball pressure to make this game a little bit tighter, but it's still a 7-point lead. There's a drive and a block from behind. A great reach by Terry Buchanan. And now it's the Kalamazoo Central Maroon Giants. Will they control it in transition? They'll score and get the foul on Nick Ruffin.
Tell you, that's how you put pressure. The defensive pressure that they're putting on Clarkston, it kind of trends into what they're all about. Up-tempo game, looking for guys to just run the lane, and right there you get a nice little finish, and one, and you got to make free throws.
Nick Ruffin is a big body senior for this Maroon Giants team, and he's been a big presence since he came into the game. That free throw needs a little bit of work, but...
Well, you're still young. You got a lot of time.
Still young. And now it's only a 5-point game, so it's a nice run by the Maroon Giants here. Hard jump and missed shot in traffic. No call on Jared Lawrence. And Matt Kamenecki is sitting on the bench for Dan Feist Wolves, and their best player is set out for a long stretch. And right now, Clarkston has really missed him, Rick.
I'll tell you, right here, good no call because he was the Wolves are trying to go up real strong, and if you don't get contact, if you're going to the basket hard, you can't make that call.
Jared Lawrence is only 6'3". I don't think they want him trying to score a lot down low. There's a hard shot on the run, missed by Polkley. Another rebound. There's a steal though. Can Verlinden finish? Puts it off the window. No. The putback's a miss too. And a good hustle rebound by Dylan Hughes. K Central pushing it to the basket. The scoop and the hoop for Hemphill. And now it is a 3-point game.
I'll just tell you, they're having fun. I like to see the pressure. But I tell you, Clarkston's got to handle that pressure and don't become rattled.
So tough times for the Wolves. Baseline jumper. That one counts for 3. Brandon Polkley, a big hoop to get things turned the other way for Clarkston. Here's a pull-up jumper in transition. That rims and rolls out. The putback, no. Rebound taken by Clarkston. They slap it out and they get control.
Tell you better keep your eyes on Polkley because he's been shooting lights out right now.
Staten went a little soft inside and got blocked. And I think we've got a Maroon Giants foul. And Michael Thomas doesn't agree.
Have you ever heard any coach agreeing to any call that goes against him?
Not very often. And the Wolves keep the basketball. Ball is slapped away on the inbound. And contact and a backcourt foul. So this has been a scrappy second quarter.
Sometimes once you get the jitters out, now it becomes on your athletic ability. And when Central is putting that pressure on them, K-Central's putting that pressure on Clarkston, you got to handle it.
And it's K-Central basketball, the Maroon Giants trying to come back from a 10-point deficit earlier in our second quarter as we move towards halftime in the Class A semifinals at Breslin. Sloppy pass inside, knocked away. Fortunately, the Maroon Giants keep it. They go into Cameron, who gets it picked. And a 2-on-2 breakout, left side layup, no. And the Wolves can't get the rebound. Verlinden went strong on the left side. And it's the Maroon Giants who will get the basketball.
Over the back foul right there. You're going for a strong layup. You got to make that. Brandon went to go for a strong layup, just didn't finish it, and that frustrates the coach, as you can see.
And he didn't have any help really coming down with him. He was outnumbered. That may have been a time to put that ball away and get the half-court set.
A little carrying action right there. You go to the basket. Hemphill went to the basket for K-Central. When he turned around, can't carry the ball.
You can see that Clarkston has benefited. They've got some good scoring off the turnovers, but that was early in the first quarter. And Pokley gets it stolen. Here's a 3-on-2 run out. Hemphill, left side, in the paint. He carries it low off the window, and again, Nick Ruffin continues to put the hurt on the Wolves.
You keep getting it to him and get it inside, and he's finishing, and that's all you want for a big man to do is finish.
A skip pass and tapped out of bounds. Well, Michael Thomas made the right move by bringing his defenders out on the ball in that second quarter because Clarkston really hasn't been in a good offensive flow, Rick, since that point.
No, that's when you become rattled. That pressure, I always say pressure busts a pipe. Right now it seems like it's busting a little bit.
Staten trying to break into some open space. Gives it up for Scarlett on the perimeter. Now Verlinden. Back here for Jordan Clark. Skip pass. Staten will guard for three off the rim. No. Nice rebound. Put back up too hard. Missed by Jordan Clark. Fight for that loose ball. And they call it a jump ball. And the Maroon Giants will get the basketball.
Tell you, that's just, right there, that's one of those determinations, getting a rebound. But you got to go up with the rebound, not afraid. I'll tell you, K-Central seems like they're blocking shots. So you go up hesitant, you're going to come up with a bad shot. But I tell you, that's desire right there to try to get the ball out of his hands.
One thing you got to teach, Rick, is a guy gets a rebound like that down low. Instead of keeping that ball down low, get it up in the air.
Yeah, get it up in the air.
Lob alley-oop. There we go. Doug Anderson on the flip from Nick Ruffin. We cannot see enough of that tonight. Wow. Those are some hops. And almost a steal in front of the K-Central bench. Almost as good as a turnover.
Now this pressure is really has Kalamazoo just getting up and down the court. They're using their pressure.
And the officials, I think, are going to give the basketball back, but here's a highlight you just can't see enough of.
I tell you, Hemphill gets it up there, and that's how you finish it, right there. High school game. I wish I could have did that in high school.
It was a different game back then.
Oh, please, we couldn't even dunk back then.
So this has gone from a 10-point Clarkston lead to a hang-on 2-point game right now. The officials are trying to sort out who's got ball possession.
Oh, it was a sideline tip. That's why, you're lucky you got three officials because they can all discuss it and make sure they're making the right call because this is a crucial game for both teams that they want to go to the finals. So you got to make sure that you make the right call. You never want to be in a game where you say, well, that was a bad call if we'd have got that call.
These games go close enough without having the officials have any undue influence. And a travel, and it gives the ball right back to the Clarkston Wolves.
Turnovers.
So Case Central trying to hang on and see if they can get the lead. And Clarkston's 10-point lead has gone bye-bye. Lob inside, and there's Anderson again. They don't have an answer for him when he gets the ball down low. That athleticism, Rick, is off the charts.
And athleticism and power, because he goes up there without being denied.
They've got to figure out how to deny him that ball in the post. Almost a steal by Anderson. Here's Pokley driving hard. In traffic, off the square for the bucket.
You got to get it to Pokley. He's not afraid.
He's the only guy creating offense right now for Clarkston's Wolves. Ball is knocked out of bounds. Ball! And an injured Maroon Giants player, that's Jawan Hemphill, slow getting up, and he's favoring, looked like he was favoring a wrist or
I think he came down
a
on,
hip.
Came down on his back a little bit. Got that elevated so high.
Well, he's back to his defensive work right now. And Clarkston trying to end the second quarter. Anderson the steal. Will he finish from the right side? The spin, the shot rolls off the rim. No, they keep scrapping for the rebound. The Maroon Giants, there's a putback shot. Great score by Jawan Hemphill, and it is a 2-point basketball game, and now we're tied at 27 as we go to the break. This Class A semifinal game, we told you it was going to be worth watching. Well, we may have undersold it.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm glad I made it, because this is more exciting than watching the games that I've been watching up at Auburn Hills.
If you came late like Rick did, you missed a lot, but stay here. We're coming back with our halftime in just a moment. It's the Class A semifinals between Kalamazoo Central and Clarkston. We're at the break, and it's a 27-27 basketball game. This is MHSAA TV. A tale of two quarters here at Breslin, the Class A semifinals. Clarkston wins the first quarter, round one, if you will. The second round, or the second quarter, goes to Kalamazoo Central. We are dead even at 27 here at the half. Welcome back courtside, Dan Gutowski and Rick Mahorn. Ricky, this was a tremendous first half of basketball, but really our second quarter, what a comeback by Kalamazoo Central when they just took this game away from Clarkston.
And they did it with their pressure. I mean, when you can pressure the ball and continually hound the basketball, that keeps you in the game, because all of a sudden you start getting breaks and you turn the ball over. Next thing you know, you're getting easy layups and easy dunks.
A tremendous first half. Lots of highlights to show as we pick up our package in the first quarter.
I'll just tell you, when you attack the basket like K Central, and when you got a guy like Nick Ruffin, and also Anderson, I'll tell you, you're always in the game. You got to keep attacking the basket, get those little rebounds. But the way to finish is stay around the basket. But on the other hand, when you leave a guy like Pokley open and you get these easy transition baskets, that helps you out, because you don't necessarily have to set up an offense and you don't have to worry about that pressure. But I just tell you, out of the air, here comes Superman, Doug Anderson. He'll come out of the air and get some dunks. But tell you, wow. I mean, that's nothing but power, athleticism, and I tell you, also, you got to be a little mean. And if you got that kind of mean streak, that's what's going to happen. But I tell you, it's the rebounding that I like. What K Central's doing, they're out rebounding Clarkston by 2, but those turnovers, you see those turnovers. Central has 14 of them, but those 24 points in the paint has got this game tied.
And that's the athleticism right now that K Central has over Clarkston. It's causing a lot of problems, and also significantly for Clarkston, Matt Kamenicki has only played 8 minutes of this basketball game, not playing at all in the second quarter, and that's really caused some confusion and some problems getting the Wolves offense out of sync. What will they change in the third quarter to get back on track?
Well, make sure that you handle that pressure. If you handle that pressure, get it to the right people and get it to the right people, and next thing you know, they start making shots. You can handle it, and then it becomes easier. Then you find the open men, and they get layups.
What do we do for an encore in our second half? Stick around and find out. We'll get things rolling in the third quarter. It's the Class A semifinals, Game 1, with a 27-all score between Clarkston and Kalamazoo Central. We're getting set for the start of our third quarter in our first game of the Class A semifinals. Clarkston tangling with the Kalamazoo Central Maroon Giants, tied at 27. Yes, there have been many dunk highlights. Thank you very much. A lot of them from K Central, but Clarkston's had a few of their own.
Well, I'll just tell you, they've been some dunks, but these have been some impressive dunks by K Central.
And we start our third quarter of basketball. The Maroon Giants try to go strong on the end to Doug Anderson, but it's out of bounds and it's a turnover. And Clarkston's Wolves will get the basketball. Matt Kamenicki is back on the floor for Dan Fife. And the Clarkston Wolves. Ball tapped out of bounds. And again, Clarkston with their starters doing all the damage. Central getting a big lift off the bench from Nick Ruffin.
Yeah, he came in there, got him quick 7 points.
Easy shot and a miss, though, by Brandon Verlinden. And a steal. They try to go to Kamenicki. Will he finish it? He got it to go.
I see a lot of turnovers. That's been 3 turnovers in the last 4 possessions by both teams, so you got to make sure you take care of the basketball.
Hard drive, right side, no, as Hemphill went in too strong and couldn't get it up. They try to finish on the left side, and a score by Tom Staten. So Clarkston has settled down nicely after a not so good second quarter of basketball.
Well, they're just doing it. Basically, they're getting turnovers and they're getting layups off of easy turnovers.
There's a hard drive, right side, high glass shot from TJ Cameron for the score.
Well, guy takes the ball from one side of the court to the other, your defense has to rotate.
Kamenicki has it inside and kicked it out. Maybe should have kept it himself. And it's a turnover. Verlinden couldn't handle it.
Well, he sure should have. He had a nice little layup right there, and that frustrates a coach because if you're the star player, you want that ball in his hands every time.
Again, Kamenicki sitting for all of the second quarter. But he's on the floor now. And Kalamazoo Central slowing down a little bit. They go to their half-court set. TJ Cameron. Now for Oliver. Oliver driving and dishing. Cameron baseline drive. His lane is sealed off. They dish far baseline and the scoop and the score. Terry Buchanan on the run with the floater.
Nice. That's when you got a nice little floater. Just flip it up over the big guys and let it go down.
Nice skip pass, and they go into Kamenicki. Free throw line jumper up, left it way short. Ball tapped on the floor. They didn't get it to his teammate. And a good heads-up play. A timeout called by Terry Buchanan.
2 good plays by Terry Buchanan. One on the offensive end and one on the defensive end. Wasn't going to be denied. Diving for the basketball. You need those hustle points.
Now the presence of Matt Kamenicki helping Clarkston get a little bit of momentum back. We're still in a tie basketball game, but again, Kamenicki has been a solid player all season long, averaging over 13 points a game on the season. Here's that last hoop by K Central. They went right at Kamenicki.
Trying to get him to jump up in the air, but you know, I tell you, TJ Cameron just floating it over there. 2 good plays, and you get some good ball movement like that and patience, that only gets you good shots.
And Buchanan was smart enough not to attack him all the way.
Yes.
You see a lot of guys at this level, Rick, if they have some physical size and they're a little bit taller, their natural instinct is to always attack, always go strong.
Always.
Well, now that you're playing good defenders and kids that have maybe as much athleticism as you can't always get away with that. You've got to mix your game up a little bit.
Yes, you do. You got to have multiple facets of your game. You know, the 2 dribble drive, the little floater, coming there knowing that you're dealing with big trees. You don't want your shot blocked, but you want to get a good look, which if you work on that shot in practice, it only enhances your ball club.
Clarkston had a 10-point lead early in the second quarter of this semifinal game. Dan Fife, 6 straight years for Clarkston getting knocked out in the quarterfinals. So just getting here to the semis is a big accomplishment, but they want to take it all the way to Saturday and win that as well. There's a ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Maroon Giants.
Too much dribbling in the zone. When you dribble in the zone, you got to make, playing against the zone, you got to make quick passes and make the zone move.
Wolves basketball. Tom Staten over the timeline. Long pass out of bounds. Right to Dan Fife. And he's not playing.
He's not playing. He doesn't have a white uniform on. In fact, you're throwing it to a guy with the blue shirt on. You got to throw it to the guy with the white shirt.
It's probably the last guy you want to throw it to. So K Central gets it right back, and they go to work. TJ Cameron, they have it on the perimeter. There's Hemphill. Up faking and gets Kamenicki off his feet. Now the drive and the dish out. They go near corner. Baseline jumper for three is good for Terry Buchanan.
Tell you, when you move the ball, getting good looks.
3-point lead now. Let's see what Clarkston does. They bring it out. There's Kamenicki, far wing. Lost the dribble. Got the scoop. The score? No, they wave it off. A travel by Brandon Pokley before he went to the hoop.
Right now you can't unravel. If you're Clarkston, you can get caught up by looking for fouls or looking for the referee to give you some help, but here you got to get it all by yourself.
So a 3-point lead for K Central's Maroon Giants. There's a hard drive, pull away, and a miss. Good looking shot from Jawan Hemphill, but just didn't have enough touch. Here's Pokley. Near wing. They try to go to Kamenicki down low, but he's sealed off.
They're fronting him. You got to get some guys from a high-low position.
And Scarlett on the top. There's an open look down low. Nice, easy basket. Oh, what a miss, though, by Tom Staten. Just a little bit too hard.
I tell you, he looked at his hand saying, wow, what did I do?
Here's a three from the far side. Another knockdown triple by Buchanan. Back-to-back threes, and Kalamazoo Central opening up their biggest lead now. We're at 37-31.
I tell you, just keep that pressure, you keep playing, but you can't leave shooters open. Hello, everybody out there in Michigan. It's a shooter on the court. You got to make sure you see him, and he's making those three-point bombs.
Back-to-back threes from both baselines. And again, this was Clarkston getting a lot of opportunities early, a lot of points off of turnovers, but Kalamazoo Central's athleticism started to become a lot more visible early in the second quarter.
And right now, they're continually putting that pressure on Clarkston, and Clarkston's got to learn to relax because they're getting open shots, but they hear footsteps. You know, you miss a couple of layups, all of a sudden you're hearing those footsteps behind you saying, oh, I better get it up quick before they block my shot.
That's a look in that Clarkston huddle. Dan Fife. Again, Kalamazoo Central. This game was tied at the half. Clarkston came out with a little more composure early in our third quarter, but now K Central has the upper hand.
And those are turnovers. You know, you don't want to make unforced turnovers, but these turnovers are going right now. The way the turnovers are going right now for the Wolves, they got to learn to take care of the basketball just a little bit more. And there's still a lot of time in this ball game where you can overcompensate that.
Doug Anderson has been tremendous. 10 points already to go with a lot of hustle plays for K Central. There's an almost steal by Anderson. Now they pick him. 2-on-1 breakout. Hemphill running strong. He'll finger roll it and score it for the Maroon Giants.
Right now, the Maroon Giants feel like they can take care of this game now.
Pokley catches, tries to twist from the left side, lays it up off the glass and scores.
They needed that score right there.
Now touch and ball knocked out of bounds. And Buchanan maybe thinking about his shot before he caught it.
Well, sometimes it's a way you control a basketball game and control tempo, and you got to make sure that you relax, get those nice open shots, and you don't have to get layups every time. You just got to make sure that you get good looks.
Luke Prudhomme has come on for Clarkston's Wolves. A 6-point game But Clarkston is a little out of sync right now. They go Kamenicki down low. He turns it to the right side, lays it up and in.
That's the open spot of the zone right in the middle. And if he can get that all every time.
See what Kalamazoo Central does here. TJ Cameron.
And it's interesting the way Kalamazoo just takes the ball and drive.
Cameron went up soft, but that second shot is good by Oliver. Oliver's got 4 points. They go in the corner. That's Prudhomme. Now the clear out for Pokley. The long three is good from the top.
Wow, that's a nice three. Good patience, good ball movement.
The senior has had a huge game, 20 points to keep Clarkston in it. There's a three from the top for Oliver. He answers on the other end.
Three me, be me, and I tell you, some good looks by both ball clubs for making threes.
It's like a game of horses just broken up between those two guys.
Can't just trade baskets, though.
Hard scoop there. Kamenicki can't finish it. Ball is knocked and picked up off the floor. Great save by Clarkston. Nice drive to the hole. Kamenicki can't finish it, and K Central rebound.
I think Oliver got a block.
Ball picked up off the floor. There's a shot, missed, put back, no. Rebound taken by Kamenicki.
Oh, the tempo's picking up now.
Here we go. Here's Pokley. He'll line up for the three. That one hits for Clarkston. And it's a three-point game now. Brandon Pokley single-handedly lifting Clarkston right back into this basketball game.
Well, that's who the ball should get in his hands every time, because everything's good that happen when he's got the ball in his hands.
He's not just scoring, he's shooting very well in this basketball game.
Lights out.
And with only 1:10 left, we'll see if K Central is going to slow this down. Looks like they'll collect their breath a little bit.
They're trying to force Clarkston to get out of that zone. But I tell you,
a 2-3 zone.
You know, sometimes that frustrates me when I'm in the pros. You know, we used to get tired of somebody sitting on the clock, but it's effective still in high school.
No shot clock here in the MHSAA, and it looks like Kalamazoo Central's Maroon Giants will let it all grind down. And you just saw the sideline instructions from Michael Thomas. Start the play at 12 seconds. So you have 9 more seconds to get your drink and get on your couch.
Right now, Hemphill has that ball in his hands. And I like this little two-man game, the dribble penetration.
And here's Hemphill driving. Pull-up jumper. Off the rim, no. Rebound taken. And the Clarkston Wolves have chance for a last shot here. They'll lob it from half court. It's up. It is short. And, 3 players hit the floor hard. 2 of them from Kalamazoo Central. But they get up, and we will roll into a 4th quarter of basketball. What a great 3rd quarter we have here in our Class A semifinals. Brandon Pokley, the late 3rd quarter surge to get the Wolves back in it. A 3-point lead for Kalamazoo Central as we go to the 4th quarter here at Breslin. A 3-point game. We're back with more in a moment. This is MHSAA TV. Welcome back to Breslin. A full house here for the Class A semifinals, and you're getting your money's worth with Clarkston and Kalamazoo Central as Brandon Pokley single-handedly keeping the Wolves in this basketball game. And they're down by 3, though, 44-41, as we roll into our 4th quarter of basketball. And again, the tempo picked up there, Ricky, late at the end of the 3rd quarter. And again, I think that tempo, I think, favors Kalamazoo Central right now.
Oh, yes, it does. You know, you want to make sure you control it. But I tell you, Pokley's on the court right now. He's 4 for 4 from the three-point land, shooting lights out, 9 for 11. Can't leave him open if you're the Maroon Giants. You got to make sure you got a player on him.
K Central basketball starting our 4th quarter. The winner has got a date on Saturday in the Class A finals here at Breslin. Good tie-up on the ball, and Possession arrow gives the ball to Clarkston. Well, now Kalamazoo Central gets a taste of their own medicine as the Wolves put 2 defenders on the ball.
And when you do that, you got to make sure that you're patient and you got to move the basketball.
And Kalamazoo Central does likewise. They go inside, now bring it out. Spreading the floor, Kamenicki, low baseline. Lost the handle, scooped it in. Nope, stolen by Kalamazoo Central. They come out for Dylan Hughes, who's checked in. Hughes gives it up. Skip pass almost taken away. Now Kalamazoo Central resets with Hemphill at the point. Handoff to Oliver.
Trying to get into this dribble handoff set offense and control the tempo. But sometimes that holding the ball out and taking time off the clock can help you, but it can hurt you as well.
Hemphill gets it knocked from behind, but it's into Anderson on the pickup. He'll shoot and score, and they'll call the foul.
Well, Anderson's had a heck of a first half, and right now he's getting the basketball in the low box, making sure that he can, if you're going to execute, get it to the inside, and then you work your way out. But he's doing this thing in the paint, and he's dominating.
Doug Anderson had 10 points at halftime, nothing in the third quarter, and he makes the first free throw.
That's 3 the hard way.
And ball tipped, knocked out of bounds. They were going for Kamenicki against the press. And Clarkston keeps the basketball, but
the Maroon Giants just have quick hands, and you want to get deflections, and they're doing a good job of getting those.
They went inside, got a little too creative, and Anderson on the takeaway. Now a lost basketball, but a nice pickup there. Ooh. Good ball handling by Dylan Hughes to keep the play alive.
Dylan, don't do him like that.
And here's Hemphill. Now they reset.
Well, the pressure's on Clarkston to get that basketball. They got to make sure they stay out there.
Nice drive, scoop, no. The missed shot by Oliver. Ball comes out, picked up by Hughes. Baseline jumper, far side, rolls and drops for the Maroon Giants. Dylan Hughes dialing in for a long 3. There's Kamenicki. He'll turn and dish out from the right side. They shoot. Pokley can't miss it, and the rebound missed. Good chance there, but a foul on Matt Kamenicki.
I tell you, Kamenicki's he's got to recognize that when he's in the paint, if he just does a drop step, he can get the shot, any shot he wants. He's just so afraid of getting the shot blocked. With Anderson's back there, because Anderson's jumping and elevating and blocking shots, but still, you got to go through a shot blocker.
The scouting report by Kalamazoo Central on Kamenicki is excellent. He's consistently going to his right side, and Central is defending him that way. He's had chances to go to his left. See, every time, just like that, he goes to his right and not his left, and he's missed his last 3 shots that way.
You got to go. You got to work on it. That's when you get in the lab on the basketball court. You got to work on those things that you can't do well.
Dish out. Good ball rotation. Hughes up faking. Handing back to Hemphill.
And now it's smart by the Maroon Giants to come out here, control tempo. They have the lead, and you got to force Clarkston into getting up there to check you, especially when there's no shot clock involved.
Hemphill has it near the timeline. The dribbling move, they try to steal from behind. No, Hemphill scoops it too hard. Ball outletted, and ball's knocked away. Picked up again by Kalamazoo Central.
I tell you, Dylan Hughes has been Johnny on the spot right now, getting those extra possessions for the Maroon Giants.
Hemphill gets double teamed out high, but shakes them both off. And Central taking a lot of time off the clock. We come up on the halfway point of our 4th quarter of basketball. They try to steal at the top on TJ Cameron. See if they get some passing lanes. Anderson holds it. He'll spin out. There's a hard drive, no call. player on the floor. The shot rolls up and drops for Kalamazoo Central. Terry Buchanan on the score.
Got to be careful here if you're Clarkston. You don't want to get rattled. You just got to come down and execute your offense.
Dan Fife calls the timeout to get his Wolves back in order.
A lot of no calls going on around here. Could have been a charge, but the players got to keep playing. And can't stop.
Buchanan gets the roll for the basket there.
Right now, those points in the paint, that wears you out. You know, especially on the defense. When you're getting these easy layups and you're getting these things just rolling in, it frustrates the opposing team. And right now, Clarkston can't get frustrated. They got to make sure that they continually play hard defensively, get the rebounds, don't give up second chance opportunities.
So again, Clarkston with a huge obstacle in just getting beyond the quarterfinals. And they're going to have their work cut out for them if they're going to make this a close basketball game. But let's be honest, Rick, it's an 11-point deficit. That's sizable, but it's not out of reach by any stretch of the imagination, especially the way Coakley has been shooting the basketball.
Yes, you got to make sure you get it to him, move the basketball, and get it into to the guys that are scoring. And I'll tell you, Coakley may be 9 for 12 right now, but he's still out there shooting the basketball, but you can't turn the ball over.
He was 9 of 11 shooting after 3 quarters and 4 of 4 from beyond the three-point stripe.
And you got to get Kalmanicki in there in the paint, suck in the defense and kick it out.
So here comes Clarkston. They don't have a lot of time to waste before they try and attack. And ball tipped in. A turnover there by Clarkston's Tom Staten.
It's Tom Staten right there just kept his eyes off of the basketball.
And let's see what Kalamazoo Central does.
They're going to do
spread the floor and slow it down.
And let him handle the ball. He's got 4 people on him.
They swarm the ball handler, but they don't get him all the way off the dribble drive. And Hemphill scores it to make it a 13-point game.
I tell you, he's a great ball handler, and it's hard to get the ball from him. It's low to the ground.
They bounce low. Kamenicki dishes out. Coakley will gun for 3 off the front of the rim. No, a whistle before the rebound. And Clarkston will keep the basketball. A Kalamazoo Central foul.
Look at now. This is when you get 3 guys chasing you, 4, and there you get a layup. I'll tell you, Hemphill's handling that basketball, and right now the Maroon Giants are in control.
Heady play by the senior. And here's Staten driving, lost his dribble. Coakley up faking. Now he clears it.
You don't necessarily need a 3, you just need to score.
They went inside hard to Kamenicki. That's a takeaway.
And there's Dylan Hughes.
And Hughes. And Hemphill will break the timeline. He'll pull up. He'll get it off the rim. Put up by Anderson, who went up strong on the right glass and scored it.
And that's power, second chance opportunities again. Can't allow that, but tell you, if you're Clarkston, you just want to get the ball in the hoop.
The Wolves are scrambling now. Kamenicki squares up for a 3, put it way short. No foul in the backcourt on the rebound, and here's a tussle drive here, right at half court. And a floorboard for Kamenicki.
And that's, you know what, to see Hemphill help him up, you know, that shows great sportsmanship, because this is an important game for both teams, but still, you have time for sportsmanship, especially in athletics.
Dylan Hughes on the inbound here for the Maroon Giants.
He gave you a little look back there, Dan.
It wasn't a happy look either.
He was like, what are you saying my name for? Well, I'm going to tell you why we're saying your name. You've been Johnny on the spot out there.
So substitutions now for Clarkston. Jonathan Benzinger coming in. Benzinger. As Matt Kamenicki comes out with 2:36 left in our basketball game. Also on for the Wolves, Matt Calvano. And Tom Ronk is on the floor as well. And looks like Clarkston is pulled off their pressure defense.
I'll tell you right now, don't want to let Hempel get you in a trick box.
Hempel trying to work free, ball knocked off his leg and out of bounds, and Clarkston will get the basketball.
You know, sometimes you can have that showmanship, but then, you know, it's still a game, and because sometimes that can, you know, carry on later. But right now, you just want to be kind of professional about it. Just say, okay, I'm going to make a couple of passes.
And so here comes Clarkston, the Wolves. It is time for a miracle to extend their season if they have one in the playbook. And Scarlett dribbling, dishing down low. They couldn't finish it. That was Benzinger. Couple of cracks at it. Benzinger tries to dish it in. Anderson picks it up. And he almost gets fouled from behind, but no call.
Got a little handle right there.
And now Kalamazoo Central can feel it. Inside 90 seconds to a state championship game in Class A.
And it's going to be a lot of fouls right now.
Coming on is Shane Corey for Clarkston.
Coach Michael Thomas feels real proud. Nice control of the game, especially in the fourth period. Took some time off the clock. Kept the exposure.
Score on the inbound to Devin Oliver. The starters are still in for the Maroon Giants. But this game is pretty well locked up. A 17-point lead. And a strip in the backcourt. Not quite. A couple of players go strong for it. That looks like looks like a pretty good scrap down low.
Oh, it is. Game can be very physical.
And it gives the basketball to Kalamazoo Central's Maroon Giants.
Right there is, tell you, one thing that you love is the fight. There's still, you know, still some fight in
that looks like Twister almost, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you know, this guy's still playing the game. There's still time left on the clock.
Playing very hard here, and now it's just time for Kalamazoo Central to drain the clock. And a great season for Clarkston's Wolves will end here in East Lansing. This far and no further for the Wolves. But a great season for them, and it ends today. And here's Hemphill dishing out in an offensive foul. They call him for the charge.
It was a good call right there. Should have just, you know, could have kept the ball in his hand, pulled it out. But he's still being aggressive. I mean, you got to like Hempel's desire to keep going to the basket.
Clarkston's Tom Ronk with the basketball, passing down low and knocked out of bounds into that Clarkston bench. And now the starters come off for Kalamazoo Central. Dan Fife, a storied coaching career in Clarkston. If there's a better coach in Class A basketball in Michigan, I have yet to see it. But the season will end today for his team in the Class A semifinals. And a hard cut by Jared Lawrence to the basket. He'll score it, and he'll go to the free throw line.
You know, Jared Lawrence, I mean, he was
the first points of the quarter for Clarkston. They were snake bit, and at the start of this quarter, Kalamazoo Central just put this game away.
Oh, they did it. They did it with that pressure defense, and you got to make sure that any team that's playing against pressure defense, there's spots on the court where you can get easy scores.
And he gets the three. And Angelo Griffiths with the basketball. Now they come back to half court, and there's it over and back as Donovan Lewis couldn't save it.
You know, one thing that I like about watching high school basketball, I like the way that they have the desire. They don't stop playing the game, and the game's never over until the last second on the clock.
You know, a lot of kids will never play in a gym that's filled up as much as this one is. And ball out of play. And Kalamazoo Central will have to defend. Kalamazoo Central, the last time they were in the finals back in 2001, a 16-point loss to Pontiac Northern. And they were Class A champions. You got to go all the way back to the late 40s and early 50s. Here's a long three, way off the mark with 3 seconds left. They rebound, and a foul with 1 second left will give the basketball to the Maroon Giants, who are going to play on Saturday for a state championship in Class A. A dominant fourth quarter was enough to carry the Maroon Giants to Saturday's finals.
There's a coach, Michael Thomas, who is very excited to go there. Like you said, 2001 was the last time they were in the finals, and they lost to Pontiac Northern. And I tell you, it's just, you know, it's a good feeling for all of them. It's tough to have losers in this game because these kids have played so hard to get to this level.
A great semifinal game with Kalamazoo Central winning handily over Clarkston 58-44. And they move into the winner's bracket for the championship on Saturday.
Mind you that the second game of the Class A semifinal session.
And again, a good fan turnout from Kalamazoo Central.
Yeah, I saw a couple of those buses coming up. I'm sitting there going like, wow, there's a lot of people having fun.
A dramatic fourth quarter propels Kalamazoo Central's Maroon Giants into the Class A finals on Saturday. We'll come back with some post-game thoughts after this. This is MHSAA TV. A runaway victory for Kalamazoo Central in our first Class A semifinal. Clarkston had a game for 3 quarters. It all went away in the third quarter, though, or in the fourth quarter, Rick, as we put our thoughts on this game. Dan Gutowski and Rick Mahorn. Ricky, that fourth quarter, what did Kalamazoo Central do so well to put this game away?
What they did was that pressure. Once you start keeping the pressure going and going and going, it kind of like sooner or later you're either going to give into it, and what Clarkston did, they gave into it, couldn't get any points off of any turnovers. Like, they only scored 3 points in that fourth period from the pressure. And then also you got to give it to the Maroon Giants. They just kept that pressure. Hemphill kept ball control, kept the momentum, and that wins you the game to get to the next game.
This game was in Clarkston's hands early as we pick up our highlight package from the first quarter, as, again, both teams scoring the ball fairly well early on, Rick.
I'll tell you, when you attack the basket, I'll tell you, Big Doug Anderson was dominant in there in the first half. Got 10 points that first half, but when Clarkston got a chance to beat the pressure, they took advantage of it. But the second period is when you see nothing but dunks from the Maroon Giants, when you can get up the basketball off of turnovers, get the ball in the air. And I'll tell you, Big Doug, like I said, dominated that whole second period in his first half. But then that third period came, and next thing you know, it was turnovers early by both teams. And you see right there, you get a nice finish. But on the other end, you leave guys open for 3. You can't leave shooters wide open for 3 when that pressure comes. And then you saw Polkley, who also was getting good shots. But here come the snake-bitten third quarter when you see Dylan Hughes hits that 3 in the corner from a steal and a turnover. Then you got Hemphill handling the ball like a Curly Neal with the Harlem Globetrotters, attracting 4 or 5 defenders and taking the ball to the basket. Put the ball in his hands and good things happen. And I tell you, you get those offensive rebounds, second chance opportunities. And I tell you, that's when you see Coach Mike Thomas sitting there saying, hey, I'm going to the finals.
Again, you can see from the stats, rebounds about even, but Central from Kalamazoo winning the points in the paint battle, points off of turnovers. And again, they build on their strong effort in the fourth quarter and put this game away. And again, now they're in the Class A finals tomorrow that should be a great matchup.
It should be a great matchup, and I tell you, it was just fun to watch it. Fun to watch the athleticism by the young guys in high school that show that it's another level that they can go to.
We have another game of basketball coming up, the Class A semifinals. The second game, we'll find out who the Kalamazoo Central Maroon Giants will play in our second game of the day. But it's Kalamazoo Central. They are moving to the state championship game on Saturday. Thanks to my partner, Rick Mahorn, and thanks to our director, Andy Tebow, our executive producer, Amy Murphy. I'm Dan Gutowski. Thanks for joining us. This has been an exclusive presentation of MHSAA TV.
I got Juwan Henfield, Devin Oliver, Doug Anderson, TJ Buchanan. Overall, man, I think we just, you know, we have a never give up attitude. You know, we've been coming over adversity all season long. You know, the last two games in the playoffs, we were down at the half. We got down, but our team didn't fold. We could have easily folded, but we didn't. You know, we wanted to fight back, and we came out and made some changes, and we were successful.
Is it possible to get a seat?
TJ, just scoot over. I'll sit down with you. I'm a little fella.
Come on, let me ask you a question about you guys' depth in your quote-unquote role players like Ruffin and like TJ here too. I mean, he's been a starter, but how big have those guys been throughout the season and throughout the state tournament?
Good. We can use them. We can use everybody on the bench, you know what I'm saying? They can come in and fill in everybody's spot and do their role as a team player. So it's good to have the guy to come in and fill in. Doug Anderson, Dylan Oliver, who are all five of the starters. It's good to know that you got somebody for backup.
Coach, talk if you would, and it's been with you since all the regionals, just a different team in the second half. You guys go to break off behind, and just how you come out different.
You know what? I can't answer that. I mean, I try to tell them to come out from the jump. You know, I'm trying to do chants in the locker room so we can come out with the same energy that we came out with in the second half. I just don't know what it is. Hopefully we can come out with that same energy tomorrow in the first half. We need 32 minutes of that, you know, with Detroit Persian. But then, I don't know, I just think it's our not willing to give up. You know, I don't know if they see any pressure when they're down or anything, but we're able to fight. We're able to fight and just keep on fighting and just pull through things. So I don't know. I just don't. I can't answer that.
Jerry, can you talk about the three-pointers that how they've seen to get things going for you guys?
Well, Demo, he's just a great player. And every time he punts the ball, I know he's looking for me to kick it out. I just know he is. Demo, Devin, and Juwan, they just such great penetrators. It's just nobody in the state, probably in the nation, that can stand in front of them. So I just know to be ready because they're going to kick it to me.
Coach, you just talked about your defense there in the second quarter. Was that really what turned it around?
Yeah, defensively, yeah. We made a few changes in the first quarter. First quarter, we came out pressing in the diamond, and we just pushed it back to half court, and we were very successful after that. We didn't come out of it after that. You know, it's just a game of runs. You know, they went on the run, we went on the run, they went on the run, we went on the run. I'm just glad that we went on the last run. So.
Like what made that diamond so effective?
The half court?
The half court,
I don't know, we just so long. You got 6'5", 2 6'5" guys in the back just roaming around. Then you got this guy up here just you know, the speed is out there. You know, it's a lot of speed out there. You know, if our rule is any floating passes or bounce passes, we got to go get them, and that's what they do. And it's a fun way for these guys, and that's what they did today. So.
Mike, talk about TJ being on the JV team at the start of the season. 10 points in the state semifinals game.
Oh, you get on me about that all the time. You know, it's just amazing for him to be able to come up to the varsity and not miss a beat. You know, he's a young guy, he's a sophomore, and I apologize to him all the time. And I just didn't see it at the beginning of the year. You know, he was fresh out of football. Maybe he was rusty this year, but he didn't complain. He just went out there and roped. He worked, and and he didn't settle for anything. He just got the job done. And middle of the season, I had to move him up. I had to. So it's great. It's great for a sophomore to be able to come in and step in and handle this pressure at a different level.
Coach, you made no bones about it earlier in the season. You felt that you had talent to be where you are, which is the state championship game. Talk about, I guess, finally getting there when you put that out in that very early of the season, and now you want to be away from this goal.
It's rewarding, you know, like you just said. We talked about it from the beginning of the season. You know, people don't see didn't see that the hard work that they put in before the season. You know, out there running sprints and all that stuff. It was kind of new to these guys. It was new to them. Actually, Devin Oliver was complaining all fall, but now, you know, it pays off. It paid off. You know, when the first time I seen these guys stepping into the gym, and I said, I looked at these guys and I said, we have a chance to go all the way, and that's what we did. But one thing we have to do, we have to install some toughness, which they accepted. We have to install some defensive principles, which they did. And they have to, most of all, listen to me, and which they do, which they do very well. So I'm just great to be here. I'm just great to be here. It's my first year.
Can you talk about your dunking?
No, really. I look if I know I can make a shot, I shoot it. But most of the time, I just catch everybody at the bottom. It's not paying attention, so if I get to throw it up towards the rim, I'm just gonna dunk it. So when I get the ball, it's my most percentage in scoring, so I might as well just do that.
Oh, it's great. You know, I actually played here. I played here my junior year. I was a junior here at Saginaw High. We ended up losing this particular game at 1 o'clock. We lost. But, you know, after walking off the court, I would never think I would be here sitting here coaching. I didn't never think I would be here coaching and everything. But it just feels great. It feels great. I just can't wait to get back to the locker room. Y'all been up for no water on me. Can't wait to get back to the locker room to just celebrate with my guys and go out here and scout this game out here. We got another one tomorrow. 2000, right, Red? 2000.
Devin and Javon just talked about the thrill of reaching the state championship game at the end of the game.
What you say? I didn't hear you.
The thrill of
Reaching
reaching.
the state championship game has been your goal all season. Just talk about the thrill of getting there.
It feels good. Like Coach said, we've been working all off season, all throughout the season. I mean, it's just exuberating. We're finally here. All this hard work, and you know, everybody's been working. Role players, like Nick stepped up today. I got in foul trouble early, and he came in and filled the role. So I mean, keep playing as a team. It's the only thing that can happen.
Okay, it feels good to know you're going into a state championship game to play for the gold. You know, I told myself since I was a freshman that I was always going to get a chance to play in the Breslin Center. You know, that was my goal as a freshman. I played on varsity for 3 years, lost in the first regional game ever since the sophomore year, and it feels good to know that you got a chance to play in a state championship game and win the state championship.
Thanks, guys.
It's hard to have. I've not been in this situation very often to come up to Jenison and play. I haven't been here at all. Observations. I thought the second quarter was a big turning point in the game when Kamenicki got his second foul. We really struggled at that time, making things happen, getting easy basket, getting easy looks. They turned the pressure up, and we just didn't get the ball where we needed to get the ball inside with that like we were getting. I think when he went out, there was a 9 or 10 point lead. I don't really know for sure. I thought that was the big difference in the game. And then for some reason, in the third quarter, I thought we come out a little flat again. You know, they changed defenses, went to a 1-2-2 half-court trap. All those things are nothing that we haven't seen before. We just didn't react to it. And I think for whatever reason, you know, I looked at 18 for 50 from the field. Poor shooting night, maybe, but maybe more importantly, we took poor shots at wrong times. They did hit 3 big threes. 24 hit 1, 5 hit 1 with the top key. Pokley hit 1, I think, and put it within 3. And then I think 5, I don't know what point in time in the game was, but 5 come down and put them right back up for 6. And from that point on, it just seemed, that might have been the start of the fourth or the end of the third, I don't know. End of the third, because we were right there, you know, still kind of playing in the third with them mentally and physically. Then after that, we went down 6, seemed like it really took the wind out of us. So I don't think we were, I don't know. It's hard to put a finger on it until I see it again. I would like to say it was a well-officiated game. I don't get to say that very often, but I thought, you know, they were very consistent with their calls and let the kids play and let the game happen the way it was supposed to happen. The kids decided the outcome.
Obviously, not the big second one, but realistically, this will be your second loss of the season. Had a great run. How proud are you of your team?
Oh, well, I could talk all day on how proud I am. You know, we've been to the quarters, I don't know how many times, but we finally won one, and it's only the second time in Clarkston history. If the people realized how hard our kids work in the off season, we've worn one of those shooting guns out. Our kids really take a lot of pride, and I talked to them after the game a little bit. I think when the Pistons first got to the, you know, I think they had to go through it a couple times before they finally won it. You know, we've just raised the bar in Clarkston a little better, a little higher, and hopefully that becomes the standard now to win the quarterfinals and get it here again, because it's a feeling that we haven't had but twice in the history of Clarkston. So, you know, our kids, it's hard to prepare them for this kind of feeling. We played up here in the summer. It was about 90 degrees in there, but it's not the same with these kind of lights.
Yeah, they switched defenses. We didn't really respond to that quite well. We've usually been good all year in the second half, and we just, for some reason, came out a little lax today, and might have been, I don't know what it was, overwhelming maybe, but I don't know, we just couldn't pull it out.
One of the things, I don't know how many deflections they had, but I think if they counted up the number of deflections in this game, they must have had their hand on the ball on passes probably 20 times, it seems. I was surprised the turnovers are pretty close, 22 to 22. I'm really surprised at that, because it seemed like we had a lot more than that. And what if we didn't turn it over, the deflections seemed to lead to negatives. Even though we might have got the ball back, it still led to negatives because the quickness and the speed maybe changed for us.
Brandon, I know a lot of players, it's an adjustment to shoot in an arena like this as opposed to a gym. Didn't we see too much of an adjustment to you? Did you just get comfortable with warm-ups, or what was this?
Yeah, it's a different gym. You know, it's kind of hard to adjust the depth perception in such a big place like this. But yeah, I kind of got used to it. I just, you know, kept thinking positively, and that's it.
Brandon, as the game went on, were they playing you on your three-point attempt or also in the perimeter? Were they changing up on you? Or obviously getting a shot early?
It didn't seem like they were putting that much more pressure. You know, they, like Coach Fife said, they switched that 1-2-2, and for some reason, I don't know if it was the atmosphere or what, we didn't do that good of a job with it. And we missed some open guys that could have had a shot. I don't know what it was.
What was it like to take the floor, Dan?
Pardon me?
After years away, what was it like to take the floor?
As I told you the other day, Keith, since 1964, me and Mick, he might be a little bit older than I am, but it's been a dream for me to play at that time Jenison, but to get to the state finals. And as I told Keith the other day, I think it's so much more rewarding to bring kids up here than I think it would have been for me as a player. And to be involved in this journey for 27 years and having to get and able to get here, it makes those 27 years and all those 27 years of kids that played for me worthwhile. And I know a lot of them are here. Greg Mosen was one of my first team out here. It's just it's a tremendous thrill, something I'll never forget. You can't put something like this into words when you're a basketball coach and you played in Michigan, and that's you dream to come in Jenison, and then you dream of again just getting to the state tournament in this atmosphere. And it would be hard for me to criticize my kids because we were never good enough to be here. And now to have kids at least brought me here, they're worth a fortune to me.
Is there like a finale to this?
Oh.
You got past the quarterfinals, and then you get to the semifinals, and it's still, we know for a long time, it's still not good enough. I mean, it's like the state championship.
All right, Pat, you put it nail on the head. If you're, I thought as I get older, at 59, I'm going to be 60 here pretty soon. I would lose a little bit of that spirit, competitive, and I hate to lose now. I think worse than I ever did. I've said I got in an argument with my daughter-in-law playing hearts last year, so I just got to be careful. But I love to win. Of anything, when you quit playing, you lose the feel of the competitive and being in the locker room. It's just something that you can't ever replace. And I think most guys that get out of the game miss that feeling of being in the locker room with the players and fighting the battles and being in the trenches or whatever, however you say it. But to have kids respond to you when you get into them and see them grow as people and see them grow as players, sometimes it's unfortunate that we all have to be we gain fame through our wins instead of gaining fame for what our kids become and who they become in life. I didn't think that when I was 30 or so, but now I realize when I see players like Greg being successful parents and being successful adults that if you had any way helping those kids, that's what becomes important. That becomes, I think, as coaching as we get older, you look at success, and we're only judged by our wins. And I've been with this Hex thing, not winning a regional. It took, like I said, it took me 13 years to get that. I never thought it was a Hex. I just didn't think we were good enough, and we got to do something better. I got to get better. My program's got to get better. It's just the way it is. I don't think it was a Hex. We're going to get back here. We got to get better. We've been here. We've knocked on the door. Bum Phillips said, "You want to knock the son of a gun down?" I think that's what we like. I got to figure it out here.
Dad, I wanted to ask you about that because you have a chance to your thoughts on that, just the invitation this year and how that made you feel.
Last year was the same way. We lost in the quarters, and then it just made us work harder in the off season to get back to the quarterfinals and actually win it. And it's the same for this year. We're just gonna have to work hard in the off season again, and even put more hard work into it than we did last year to become better and to be able to get back to this opportunity once again, and hopefully win it next year.
Bringing in Matt, it's been 29 years since Clarkston's been here. Have you guys been able to understand what it means to everyone from Clarkston? For you guys to be the team to finally get back?
You know what? After the game Tuesday, it kind of hit me, seeing all the support that we got today, and how many people actually showed up just to come down here and watch us. And I don't know, it's been overwhelming how many people have showed their support, and I don't think it's hit me yet still that how many people have come just support, and it's unbelievable.
Well, like you said, it's great to see all the support from the community come, and it's been great to get Coach Fife, probably the quarterfinals for the first time. I don't know, I guess it was great, winning the quarterfinals for the first time in a while. It's just something that, I'll watch the younger guys build upon in the future years.
Anything else from Clarkston? Thanks, folks.
Thank you.